Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Feel free to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell for more content. Feel free to share. We share way here for the love of Star Wars. And today's topic is why one character is no more important than any other character in Star Wars, and how it's all interconnected. Okay? So I hope you're prepared, and yes, I do use salty language, but I gotta say what I gotta say, so be ready. Hey guys, it's Stephanie, and like I said in the preview vid, this video is gonna be about why Disney Star Wars doesn't work, and the idea behind a three-legged stool. Now, we've all seen three-legged stools. Three-legged stools stand on three legs. If you take a leg away, the stool won't stand anymore. In Star Wars, we have three heroes. We have Luke Skywalker, who's the main hero, but Han Solo is every bit as important in his relationship with Luke as is Leia Organa, the princess, who is every bit as important to Luke in his story as he is. You have to understand is without them, there is no Star Wars. There is no Luke Skywalker. Han Solo without Luke and Leia, there is no Han Solo. Leia without Han and Luke there is no Leia. The story doesn't hold up. And people who tend to gravitate to one character, who don't show concern or really make a big deal about what's going on with everybody else that was important to that character's story, don't understand and fail to recognize that Star Wars is bigger than one character. And it's bigger than Luke Skywalker, bigger than Han Solo, it's bigger than Leia. The story without their stories doesn't hold up, okay? Star Wars without them is not Star Wars, okay? And what I'm trying to get out there, what I'm trying to explain simply is this. Everybody has their breaking point. My breaking point was realizing that they weren't going to explain Rey. They weren't going to give her a background that would explain why she was so powerful in the Force, why she could fly the Falcon, why Chewie felt so strongly about protecting her. There is a deleted scene where Angkor Plutt has followed them to Takodana and confronts Rey. Rey pulls the blaster that Han gave her out and to point at him, and Angkor Plutt pulls it out of her hand. Chewbacca comes up and rips Plutt's arm out of his socket. You know, why does Chewie feel like he needs to protect Rey? Chewbacca, if you know anything about Wookiee culture, they're not, a Wookiee is not the kind of guy, I guess, to just go and save some girl. Chewbacca would not do that for just anybody. And Rey's relationship with him needs a background, okay? We didn't get any of that, okay? It's an attack on the OT that Rey doesn't have a Skywalker background, if she still doesn't. It's an attack on George Lucas as a story writer, because here's the thing about Lucas that a lot of people, even really big fans, don't get. Symbolism, okay? Where do you people go to school? Because I need to figure this out, because the one thing J.J. Abrams did really well was use symbolism in The Force Awakens. And then he dropped it, you know, for his mystery boxes, and I think he's now realizing that he never should have done that. There were other ways to write Rey's mysterious past without, you know, giving full frontal to every freak out there to, project their own bullshit on to this character. Using her as a self-insert, which is what the Reylos do. But symbolism in The Force Awakens is quite big. We've got Rey not really wanting BB-8 around, right? Leave me alone, remember, don't follow me. Okay, that is symbolic of another character. We have her being able to fly the Millennium Falcon. Now, I know they got, there's a book out there explaining how Rey, could understand Shriwook and fly the Falcon, and it's just bullshit. It's garbage. So we got that. But she can do this. And you have to understand, as the books contradict the movies contradict the books. Let's put it this way. You want convoluted? Disney canon is convoluted, okay? So there's a little lesson there. So we've got those symbolic things that Rey does. Symbolic parts of her character. She doesn't care for droids. She wants to be left alone. And she can fly the hell out of the Millennium Falcon. All right. So we go on further. She and Finn meet Han Solo. Her relationship with Han is very, it's very, you're watching people who kind of can read each other's minds. Obviously, there's something there between them. He is literally her quote-unquote father figure to some morons out there, but he could actually still be her father, okay? So then we go on. Han gives Rey this blaster. We see in the movie that Rey actually does a really good job shooting it. Now, does she remember anything about it? No. See, here's the deal. When you get to her, the Force calling out to her in the Skywalker lightsaber, her touching it, and all of a sudden it awakens, what happened to Luke, kind of. She's in Cloud City, and then they delete that, and there's a scene where they had this actor actually play Luke, and the guy is just, no, just fuck no. Okay, JJ, that was a bad idea. So, and then we see the temple burning, and you see Luke's mechanical hand touching R2-D2. There's a clue there. It's symbolic. What does R2-D2 is always going to be the keeper of the secrets. Always, okay? We should have seen that before. So then she tumbles down this thing, and it's in the pouring rain with all this great dark blue light, pouring rain, and there are dead bodies all over the place. And you turn just in time to see this Knight of Ren, obviously, raise a lightsaber to slash her in half. And he's killed by Kylo Ren. And then Kylo Ren and the rest of the Knights approach her. In the next scene, you see her being left by a ship on Jakku. And then it goes into the fight on a Starkiller base with a dickhead. So you see that she's connected to Kylo Ren and the lightsaber. And basically Maz says it belonged to Luke's father. It belonged to Luke, now it belongs to you. Now you got to remember, this lightsaber is the lightsaber that Anakin Skywalker used to replace the one he lost, to replace the one he lost fighting Count Dooku. It was the one that Obi-Wan picked up and gave to Luke, that Luke lost fighting Vader with his hand. So this lightsaber is an inheritance. It's a not a MacGuffin, really. It's an inheritance. I really hate what the meaninglessness that Rian Johnson treated this piece of family history like it was meaningless trash, and they split it in half. They break it. She's got it. And Ma says it now belongs to you. Now, that alone should have said, what kind of Skywalker is she? Okay, what? Because if you know anything about Star Wars, and you should, family is everything. That's what the original trilogy, the saga, is about. The Skywalker family saga. Okay? You can't let a bunch of nihilists or people like in the story group abuse it like they've been allowed to, and they've abused it. Okay, so let's go on. So we've got Rey with the lightsaber. Rey, after Chewbacca, or now I'm going to correct a lot of people. Rey wasn't a Mary Sue in The Force Awakens as much as a lot of people want to think she was. I think they added the Mary Sue-ness in there only to piss us all off, because I really think The Last Jedi was a fuck you to every fan out there. It was a fuck you to George Lucas, and it was a fuck you to J.J. Abrams, who did not want the story group within 1,000 yards of what he was doing. It is well known now that him and Carrie Hart did not get along, and he wouldn't let her on set. You know, so let's go on. Okay, so Rey, we see Kylo Ren get wounded after he butchers his dad like a dog on a catwalk, and then says thank you to him, and then kicks his body over the catwalk like garbage. And, excuse me, piss. And Rey's got Anakin's lightsaber. And so he picks her up and throws her up against the tree. Then Finn grabs the lightsaber, and he actually holds his own against Kylo Ren. But remember, Chewbacca wounded Kylo Ren, okay? This is why those two kids could actually deal with fuckstick like they did, okay? So then Rey, the lightsaber falls. It gets buried in the snow. Kylo Ren's calling it. Rey, you see her off camera. She's off camera. She's calling it, and it goes to her. Symbolism. What is the greatest sword in symbolic sword in ancient mythology? Excalibur, right? Here's where the idea, George Lucas's idea, which JJ brought forward, Excalibur. He who owns the sword is the true king, all right? Is the true inheritor of the Skywalker legacy, okay? So the Anakin's lightsaber goes to Rey. Rey resoundingly defeats the very wounded, bleeding Kylo Ren. Okay, now I'm going to say this. There's a lot going on with the words that Kylo Ren uses when he's talking to Han. He says, your son is dead, I killed him. And I've said this before. When Darth Vader is confronted in Return of the Jedi by Luke with the name of Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader doesn't say, Anakin Skywalker's dead, I killed him. He doesn't say anything like that. He says, that name no longer holds any meaning for me, son, I think. He says something. He paraphrased, but that's what he says. Okay. So we get that. Kylo Ren says that. When Rey confronts him with his mania, his obsession with Darth Vader, it's a taunt. It's not, you gotta look at it like it's a taunt. Because if you do, then you see she's known about this. Inherently, no matter how good he wiped her mind, she knows how obsessed he is with his quote-unquote grandfather. Okay? JJ's playing cute here. But I really think, because there are stories out there that Kylo Ren is going to get the story behind him is gonna be really different. So anyway, all right, Rey defeats him. She and Finn escape on the Falcon with Chewbacca, missing somebody. They go back to Dakar, and Leia's waiting. JJ insists he made a mistake when he didn't have Leia hug Chewie first. I don't think he saw it as a mistake till he was called out. Leia walks right up to Rey, like she knows her, and hugs her. And on Leia's hand is that blue ring. Now, they've made excuses. The official Diz Canon made an excuse. It's just a ring. It's a signet ring. That is not a signet ring. Signet rings don't look like that. It is a blue stone ring on either side with a thing going between it. Separated. Why? And why does she hug Rey like that? Okay, so that whole story to me, the symbolism that I saw, and the fact that it would, you know, and another thing, the symbolism of Han losing the Falcon, and then seeing this girl fly it like that. At first I thought, how the hell would Han Solo ever lose the Falcon? Give me a story that would make sense to the character, okay? And not, he just went back to smuggling. There has to be something more meat to what's going on here, okay? So we've got all this going. Now, what is the problem here? The problem here is, instead of answering these questions, instead of respecting how George Lucas used symbolism to explain Star Wars, and the ideas of heritage, legacy, to craft a story, TLJ trashed it. And it wasn't just that TLJ abused Rey's character by not explaining who she is, where she came from, and why she's so powerful in the Force. Why did the Skywalker lightsaber, why does she get it? Why does she get the Falcon? Because to me, it's still Han's ship. To me, that lightsaber, if she's not a Skywalker, will always belong to Anakin and to Luke. It is not her lightsaber. She didn't do anything to earn it, okay? She's not related to them. See, you have to understand it's about family, heritage. What do you inherit from your parents, okay? And of course, then we get the collectivization of the Force. No! Fuck no, okay? Just stop. So, and then of course, then we go back to the rule of three, of, the three-legged stool. You kick Han out, you ruin his character, you trash his legacy, his past, everything he had with Leia. You kick one leg of the stool out, it's gone. You turn Leia into a self-interested, selfish, feminazi hag instead of a woman, the way she was written in the EU, who could literally take care of her kids, lead the people, take care of her husband, fight by his side, and be there for her brother. All right. That was Leia in a nutshell in the EU. They've systematically turned her into somebody none of us know. Okay? Let's go further. Luke. He goes from being optimistic to being hopeful, the guy that we all know is going to be there in the end to help everybody, to a bitter hobo looking to die, hiding from everything. Mark Hamill himself said this, and I'm going to paraphrase. The fact that he's hiding on the island is not the bad thing. There's no reason, there's no good reason for him to be doing that unless you explain it to go along with the character. Now, you can have people who, want their press passes, want their access, want their, red carpet access to movie premieres and stuff. And I'm not going to say it, but you know, they're on here. Hello Greedo, Steel Wars, I'll say it. The Wards, these people. And they'll say anything that comes out is good. They're disingenuous. They know it's not good. And they know what they saw wasn't Luke Skywalker. But again, even if Luke is on the island, optimistic and ready to go back and help Leia, Leia's already ruined. Han, the story doesn't hold up. They all have to be together, in sync, going forward. You don't go backwards in your character development when you're developing characters. There has to be a good reason for all this to happen. There has to be a reason that makes sense, that works with who these characters were when we saw them at the end of Return of the Jedi. But they haven't done that yet. And honestly, it took me a year to admit that The Force Awakens didn't work for me because there's too many people speculating. And then you got, the Reylos, the bimbo bitches, the Fae boys, projecting themselves onto Rey or, Kylo Ren. And it just, and then of course you get 6 stolen fanfics. And the movie's starting not to work anymore. And that in of itself is the reason why. So the three-legged stool works. All these characters have to work together. They have to make sense. And the moment they start trashing Han's character in The Force Awakens without any reason, I mean, Maz saying, go home. And Han saying, Leia doesn't want to see me. Why? Why? You leave it empty out there so you got a bunch of fucking cunts, and they'll say it, he was fucking other women. Well, no, he wasn't. Why? Explain it. Because you just trashed the character because you didn't explain why, okay? You didn't explain why he lost the Falcon. You didn't explain why he never went home. And, as Jay Prairie said, you could have done this with Han. He turned back to smuggling to help Leia because when the First Order started growing, basically after everybody found out she was Darth Vader's daughter, dropped her and wouldn't help her. All right? So Han, being the good husband that he was and is, went back to smuggling to help her get the things that she needed to run the Resistance, aka the Rebellion, which is basically what the Resistance is. Really creative writing there, guys. So there you go. That's an easy fix. Okay, but you didn't do it. Instead, you left it out up in the open. We don't know why. Nothing that is in either movie makes any sense because they don't even make sense together. So there you go. Okay. So anyway, this is stuff. It's a little bit long. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Part of me thinks you're being punked and we might actually get a 30-second teaser and a title card today. Just because it would just be like them to do that, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure that there's no teaser today, but maybe we'll be shocked. So anyway, this is Steph. I'll see you around the galaxy. Hey guys, it's Stephanie. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed the video. I apologize for the salty language, but someone had to say what had to be said. I don't use the C-bomb too much, but it kind of had to come out. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. Feel free to subscribe. Hit the like button, hit the bell for more content when I upload. And, feel free to share. We share away here for the love of Star Wars. And I'll see you around the galaxy and around the cantina.